I know
It's
it.
changed my life. Oh gosh. And I can't emphasize it enough. I don't know what else you could say to like people need to try it. It's a game changer. Now I'm not in hunting mode. Now I'm
Yeah.
like, I wake up and then it's like, oh, £47 again. Oh, who's this?
Woo!
I mean, that day I've never seen my phone. 47, 47, 40. I've got three children, by the way. So if I could do it,
Thank you.
young
Give me that
children,
context. You got three children.
one child is disabled. If I can do it, you could do it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this exciting conversation. So, for a bit of context, I believe very strongly that one of the most reliable ways to make extra money each month is to use your existing skills right now and convert it into a membership business that pays you recurring income every month. This is especially important in this world of AI and people concerned about their jobs and various things. And I've been working with a bunch of people to make this a reality. And I've got one on the call today. Hey, Felicia, how you doing?
Hello, I'm good. I'm good.
Really excited to have you on the call. So do you want to just tell everybody who you are? What is your membership business and what is it about?
So I'm Felicia. I run a membership called the Beauty Brand Inner Circle. And this essentially is to help beauty entrepreneurs grow their businesses beyond social media. So the key things to remember are it provides an opportunity to network, there's group coaching, and there's also a lot of resources that they can use to help them grow their business.
I love that. So look, I want to give people the realities, right? So we've worked together for 14 weeks to bring this business into reality and it's making you money now each month. But I want to take people back. Tell people, what was life like before you started this membership business? Paint a bit of a picture for people to get a sense for it.
Oh gosh, boy. So I'm a brand strategist, and what I do is I do brand audits. I do strategy for people, but what I found is that I was always in hunting mode. I basically, so just to take you back a little bit, I was a
Yes.
social worker. I decided to completely change career. So I went back to university, did a master's, etc. And I decided to go into the route of brand strategy. And the reason why I did it is because I started a first business, made a lot of mistakes, and decided I want to help other businesses to do better because I learned about the foundations of building a good business. However, what I found is that because I came in such high ticket, I was always in hunting mode. Always.
So high ticket being that your offering was premium, but you were struggling to find people to pay you for it.
I was always struggling to find people to pay. And what was then happening is that I started getting into debt. Business debt.
Wow.
Yeah, it was tricky. So even though I would get clients, it would take long periods. And what happened is that by the time I get a client, I've accumulated so many things I need to pay off that I just found myself just on a hamster wheel. It was tough.
So it's proper like living paycheck to paycheck pretty much, but from a side hustle or business perspective. And you were just trying to make it, having transitioned from a 9 to 5. And I remember you and I having that call. We had a call, right? And you were like, you were pouring out, because I've known you for years and you've known me for many years. And you were pouring out as a friend, just saying, look, I'm in a difficult place. And you were just explaining to me how you're really passionate about this thing, but you're struggling to make it work. And I never forget the call. I went to the back of the house. I drew for you a diagram. Do you want to just share like that, what that moment felt like? And
you know what? That's when you literally gave me hope, literally, because what a lot of people don't realize is people need time to get to know you, like you, trust you. And I think by having what you showed me is that sometimes it's good to get people in on a lower end just to build that relationship. Because what's now happening now is that now that they're in, you can sell your higher ticket stuff to them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I think trying to go in at high ticket, it just put me in a tricky position because some people still needed time to know who I was. So that's what the difficulty was. But now that I've now done this, it's literally the equivalent of a gym membership.
Okay, I love that. That analogy for me works really, really well for helping people understand what we're talking about. We're talking about a membership business. Look, you and I worked in 14 weeks and it was challenging working and doing it and building it from scratch. Yeah. So I want you to tell people, like, what have you achieved in the 14 weeks of work together of being on the architect program? What tangibly, what have you achieved?
It was very hard. I'm not gonna lie, but I realized that perseverance, it can get you far. There is light at the end of the tunnel. And I learned the importance of just go, keep going for it. I can see it's working for you. I can see it's working for others. Just do it. But it was tough. But I can now see the light. That's the thing. And I like the fact that I challenged myself, because at one point you would have seen during the calls that I felt completely deflated at one point, but I didn't give up. And I think that's the key thing. Don't give up. As long as you have that plan and I had to challenge myself, because I think one of the things I struggle with is actually that ability to just stay focused. See the end result. It will work. Just stay focused. It will work out. You have to keep reminding yourself of that. And I think having other people on board going through the same journey really was great for me, because we then built a rapport. One of them even came to my launch, and one of them is actually an expert in my membership.
Speaking of the launch, because you talked about it, and that's very important for people to know, you actually now have a fully launched business with paying customers.
I had 10 people sign up on the spot.
Wow.
However, I realized that one of the things people must do is really understand who they're targeting, because I initially tried to do a launch online, which was okay. About 7 people turned up. But when I did a poll, and I collaborated with someone else, and we did a poll and we said, all right, would you like to have a launch offline or online? Over 70 people said offline. Wow,
that's so interesting. And that's because you understood your ideal customer. They're women in the beauty business, and they operate mainly in in-person spaces. Yeah. So you went down there, you did an in-person launch, and I love how you did it. It was very lean. You found a room for about 2 or 3 hours. You told your story, and you'd converted and had 10 people join, paying, was it £47 a month?
£47 a month.
£7. So £470 a month in recurring income and growing. Beautiful. I think that is so significant, because a lot of people want that extra £500 a month, that extra £1,000 a month, and growing, but they don't just want it to be a one-off. I think what I love about this so much, and why I teach this method, is it gives people that potential for something that can scale and grow over time. So
definitely. And it was interesting. Obviously, I saw them, I told my story, and they got it. They got it. And today I've got 4 consultations for another 4 people. So hopefully, fingers crossed.
Come on. And this is even like, you've just started, like this is just launched. This is why I'm so passionate about doing this, because I just want to be part of that journey of helping enable people to create platforms that enable other people. That for me is it's a big part of Mary and I's core mission, not just in personal finances, but in the business field. So for me, seeing this happen for you, particularly just in the realm of like, I've known you for years and you know me for years, like for me, it's even more special, because like, I know your story in and out. Like, I know your kids, I know your husband, like, for me, it's so personal to see this happening for you and to begin. And let's not forget, this is another career from the world of social work.
Completely different. And honestly, I can't recommend it enough. It's changed my life, literally. And I've never had people so keen to talk to me. Wow. Like, they want to know more. They need to learn that. And I had a lot of people who couldn't make the launch. I had about 30 people make the launch, but a lot of people couldn't make it because even I wasn't well on that day, but I had to make it. So a lot of people said that they were sick. But this is the reason why I've scheduled calls in to talk to them about this membership. It's also opened a few doors for me, because I've now got beauty award businesses who have now approached me for certain things. So I'm like,
listen, I told you when we started, you're going to be the name in this space.
I can't listen. This feels surreal.
I'm telling you, and for me, it's the fact that you trusted me to do this. Like, I painted the vision for you. You didn't quite see it, but I said to you, listen, you have to do this, Felicia. It's gonna change your life. I know
it's changed my life. Oh gosh, and I can't emphasize it enough. I don't know what else you could say to, like, people need to try it. It's a game changer. Now I'm not in hunting mode. Now I'm like, I wake up and then it's like, oh, £47 again. Oh, who's this? You know, I mean, that day I've never seen my phone. Actually, you know what? Sarah, who was on the course as well, she was the one who was filming some of it on my phone. And she said, your phone just kept flipping 47, 47, 40. Oh yeah, she couldn't believe it.
That is recurring income hitting your bank account on the spot.
That's the thing. It's the most amazing feeling to just actually see it. I wish I had it to show you on the screen, as it was just, I was like, now this is good.
This is good. This is what you want. This is what you want.
This is what I wanted. Listen. Unlike where you're like, oh gosh, have they paid now? Oh, please let them pay. No.
Now imagine when you get to your first 100 members, your first 500 members, and it will come, because there's nothing like it in what you're doing.
That's the thing.
Key was to build it, and you had the faith to take the leap, go on the program, and actually work hard for 14 weeks. And by the way, I want to say at this point, if anybody wants to learn more about the architect program, or book a call with me to discuss their ideas and how they can do a similar thing using their existing skills, again, there should be up on the screen a QR code as well as details in and around below this video or around it for you to check out and give me that call, right? Now, Felicia, I want to just jump ahead and ask this question, which is, what were some of your biggest highlights from working together on a program? What were some of those aha moments for you?
Having other people on the course really did help me a lot, because I think when I had the times where I just felt I couldn't do it, having them just encourage me was needed. But it's when I started putting the website together, something that I didn't think I could do. Remember, I couldn't even use WordPress.
Yes.
I learned to now use WordPress. I learned the importance of sequencing. Now that has been, I started learning things and thinking, you know what, I've come so far, there's no choice, but this has to go well.
Yes.
It's when the website started coming together, and I started forming the different sequences, because you teach us how to do that. It started becoming like, you know what, this will work.
Yeah.
And I just went with it. You know, you're gonna get times where you're like, I can't do it. This is too much. But I think when you start seeing how far you've come, you're like, no, actually, I can't give up. And that's what happened. But in terms of the aha moment, I think it's when I saw that things were beginning to come together. And as I started putting little glimpses on social media, and the feedback I was getting, it made me think, okay, this could actually work.
I love that. What do you think you learned about Felicia? What did you learn about yourself in those 14 weeks?
I'm someone who's quite quick to give up, but on this occasion, I was able to persevere. Even as challenging as it was, I learned the importance of persevering, which was crucial.
I love that.
Yeah.
If you imagine there's some people watching this right now, they could be watching anywhere, on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, anywhere, even on our website. And they're sitting on the fence and they're thinking to themselves, do you know what? I've heard Felicia, I've heard Chaos, I've heard Pippa, I've heard Andy, I've heard, all these other people who've been interviewed and been through the program. I want to join, but I'm sitting on the fence. What would you say to that person right now is the reason why they should join the architect program?
Oh gosh, I don't even know if my words can explain it enough. You have to do it. You have to do it, basically. Your guidance is so clear cut. Some people started at absolute zero and look at where they are now. But you have to do it and believe in it. It will work out. I can't emphasize it enough. I did it, and at one point I didn't even believe, but I just had to keep going, and it's worked out. It's an absolute game changer. Absolute game changer.
Wow.
So I can't emphasize it enough. There's no words to describe it, but it is a game changer. And even my husband now, I think initially he was like, oh gosh, what are you doing? But now even he's on board. He's like, oh, how many, as soon as like
Come
he started
on.
seeing the subscribers, he was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing!" Now he's on board with it. Now
Hmm.
he checks things out for me. This was
Wow.
someone who was like, "Oh gosh, I hope it works out." But
Yeah,
now he's my main cheerleader.
he's your
He's now
cheerleader.
telling me, "Oh, do a launch part 2." I'm
Hmm.
like, "Really?"
Do you know what?
So the key is to just do it. If honestly, don't overthink it. Follow your guidelines because you're very clear in everything you do week by week. And I think having that support, constant accountability every single week, you're forced to keep going because you now don't want to let the team down, especially when there's homework and you're like, "Oh gosh, have I done it?" It might feel a lot. I've got 3 children, by the way. So if I could do it,
Thank
young
you
children.
in that context, you got 3 children.
3 young children, 1 child is disabled. If I can do it, you could do it. There were times where I was like, "Oh my gosh, physically, this is too much." But I persevered. It just got to the point where, because I was taking these small steps, eventually I was like, there's no way I can now not go forward. And then having that accountability group every week, it forces you to just keep going. And then eventually what then happens is for me, week 9, week 10, you're like, well, I've already done all this, so I might as well continue. Even though by then, for me, I was completely deflated. You remember? I felt like, but then when I then looked back at where I'd come from, the fact that I had now learned how to use WordPress, I'd now learned how to sequence, I now had a plan. The key was just to stay focused. That was it.
Do you know what? You said so many things there that really, like, you've literally said the words for me. Everything from being held accountable and following a program that's step by step, week by week, tried and tested. There's no guesswork here. You're following something that works. You're going to be paired with an accountability partner. So you have people who are looking out for you. You're going to make new friends. You're going to build your business. You're going to learn digital skills, which is you've acquired those skills now, Felicia. You've given yourself a new asset, a new skill set in a world that's becoming ever more digital. You now have a recurring business that pays you monthly. You now have a new career direction. You now have less stress and worry. Like everything, when you bring all those things together, I believe.
Honestly, I can't explain it enough. It's changed my life.
That is.
Some people might see it as it's only 500 a month or just under, but you're not even thinking about it now. The hard bit has been done. All I now need to think of is doing things. I work with them to make sure that their needs are being met in this group. I love it.
Yeah, and this is just the beginning. This is the beginning. Remember, this is just how you started, and you're going to be taking off monthly. This is why I insist on this structure, because anyone can do it from anywhere in the world using their existing skills. They just need to get moving. That is it.
Honestly.
Felicia, listen, what I want to ask you now is how you feel about the future. Look at where you are right now, right? I want you to paint a picture for anyone listening. How are you seeing the future now? How do you feel about the future now you've launched your business and you're getting that recurring income coming in?
The future's bright. This looks like a real sustainable business for me. The fact that I'm now getting noticed by certain other brands, I've never had that before. Somebody even messaged me and says, "Oh no, you're really solving a deep issue here for beauty entrepreneurs." So they're now noticing that actually I've filled some sort of gap, and it's amazing. Because I think it only goes up from here. Once you start getting certain beauty brands noticing you, that's a step in the right direction. I can see it going far. And I've also been told that there are certain beauty brands who sponsor things like this. But I now need to do it.
New revenue streams will come from this. Potentially, I can see it. Anyway, I told you from the beginning when we created this that your membership business is really a stepping stone. You remember me talking about this in week 1. It's really a platform for much more to happen. So I see this as just like it will become your recurring continuity income, your recurring bread and butter. It will provide that income to sustain your business and sustain you, sustain your family, and then give you more opportunities on top of that. Yeah.
I think so. I think so. From the little that I've seen, I'm like, it's going in directions that I didn't even imagine. That's the thing. And the fact that, you know, I was just surprised that about certain brands now messaging me, which then gave me, they can obviously see something in this. So I've got no choice but to keep going up.
Keep going, keep pushing. Look, Felicia, I want to thank you for trusting me to work on the program together. And like, I feel so overjoyed to have been a part of your journey, you know, to see that transformation happen from idea to the reality of a membership business launched and paying, and then having impact through that business. For me, that's the name of the program is called the Architect Program, because we're helping people build the blueprint of their lives. We're helping people create those purpose-led businesses that will enable other people. And in that case, they're acting in effect as dream architects. They're building the businesses that will change other people. So for me, play that role this to happen is, for me, a really, really huge privilege. So thank you. And I really can't wait to telling people about, you know, your business and telling people about what we're doing, because I believe so much in the potential that it has for changing other people's lives, particularly people in the corporate world. A lot of people have 9-to-5s, they're very frustrated, they're very skilled and very smart, but they don't know how to make that leap, you know? And this is something they can do alongside their jobs if they wanted. So you don't have to quit your job and do this. You can have it alongside your job, which is the beauty of doing it. So again, if anybody wanted to learn more, a bit more, and book a call with me to begin this journey like Felicia did, get enrolled. Up on the screen will be a QR code, and as well as below with some more information. Yeah. But other than that, Felicia, thank you so much. And
thank you. Amazing.
Take care, everybody. Hope you enjoy this interview. Take care. Speak soon.
Bye.